Hey you guys, what's going on? So if you're new here, welcome to Summertime Tarot. My name is Summer, and if you've been here before, I'm glad you found your way back. So this here is a reading dedicated to what Mercury is trying to reveal to you now that it's retrograde about your love life. So we have 3 piles. 1, 2, 3, right? So take some time to sit with the decks to see which one, you feel drawn to the most. And that's where your message will be. The timestamps are in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first deck. So if you pick this here first deck, let's go ahead and see what message wants to come through for you when it comes to your love life, what Mercury going retrograde is trying to reveal to you about your love life. Alright, so we have the 8 of Pentacles, Justice, 9 of Cups, and the 7 of Pentacles. And on the bottom of the deck, we have here Strength. Okay. So I kind of get the feeling you may be in a space where you're like you're kind of focused on work in order to bring your happiness. You may be in a space with the 7 of Pentacles where you're kind of waiting on someone to kind of come in to match your vibe, right? To bring you the happiness that you desire. But at this current time, it almost looks like work is where you're receiving most of your happiness at this time. And so I kind of feel like the message here is very much like there's a need for you to balance your work and your happiness. Yeah, I almost get the feeling you have with this Justice card here, you may have like really high standards about or just be very picky and choosy about who you allow into your circle, like into your space, into your life. And you could be using work to kind of shy away from those feelings of like feeling like kind of lonely is kind of what I'm getting. Yeah, so it almost gives me the feeling like it's like very much time for you to be honest with yourself about how you're feeling and about like what makes you happy, right? Because you could be with this 8 of Pentacles doing things like focusing on work or focusing on one aspect of your life in order to kind of balance out this feeling of possibly, loneliness, or like you're not receiving the love that you desire completely. And so you kind of move towards other things, do other things to kind of fill those cups. But at the same time, with the 7 of Pentacles here, it's almost like an energy of like withdrawing into yourself and kind of waiting in anticipation for that special someone to come in. Yeah. But I kind of feel like with the Seven of Pentacles, it may be time for you to really, like truly be honest with yourself about, you know, where you are in your life and whether or not you are truly happy with how things are going and what you're kind of creating for yourself. Is it truly making you happy? And if not, what can you do on your end, right, to bring in more fulfillment, to bring in more happiness, right? And with the Strength card here, you may be holding yourself back. Yeah. Because I kind of get the feeling like with this Eight of Pentacles, there is something that you're working towards. But at the same time, your own kind of ideals or mindset may be blocking you from the very things that you want, right? You could also be with this Justice card. I'm getting kind of judgy energy, to be honest. If I'm being honest, you may be like looking around at people and being like, ooh, look at them. They need to be doing this. They need to be doing that. And I kind of get the feeling it's because you're doing the same thing to yourself. But let's clarify. I want to look at this Justice card. Let's see. Yeah. It's like if you're in a space where you're like looking around and kind of seeing like bad, or like seeing the bad in situations or people, it may be because there's a part of you that kind of feels those feelings towards yourself. Does that make sense? Let's see. Let's look at Justice. Okay, we have one fall out. Another one. Okay. Alright. So we have the Sun in reverse. Yeah, Four of Cups in reverse as well. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Cups. Yeah. It's kind of confirming what I was just saying. Like, your outlook with the Sun here in reverse and the Four of Cups, and we have the Five of Cups on the bottom of the deck. I kind of feel like it's like there's a desire for you to kind of move out of this sad, kind of lonely energy. And with this Eight of Pentacles, you may be doing so by focusing on, you know, building yourself up, working on, you know, maybe a project, or trying to level up in like your career, that kind of thing. But at the same time, I kind of feel like you may not be giving your attention to your happiness as much as you should. Or it's like you realize I don't know if I'm making sense. It's like you realize you're unhappy, and so you're working to come out of this space, but at the same time, I kind of get the feeling, even though you realize you're unhappy and you're trying to work to improve, you know, the state that you're in, you may not be giving your attention to the things that you need to give your attention to. you may be kind of escaping these feelings by doing other things and hoping that it will like make it better. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But let's look at this Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So we have the Five of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the Five of Wands. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. You could also have the tendency to kind of give up on things. When the going gets rough. Yeah, but with this Justice card here, it's like there's a decision that needs to be made when it comes to your own kind of happiness. And I kind of get the feeling you just may be kind of skirting around the issue, or like not wanting to deal with it and kind of going towards other things to kind of appease yourself, to ease your mind, in order to kind of not kind of deal with those feelings. And so I kind of feel like this Mercury retrograde is kind of revealing those aspects of yourself that kind of keep you from moving forward when it comes to the things that you love, right? This could be relationships. This could be like, you know, anything that you want out of life. Yeah, but let's look at the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so we have King of Pentacles fell out in reverse. Let's get one more for the Seven of Pentacles. Got two. Oh, three actually. So we have the Tower, the Fool, and the Five of Cups. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Magician. Yeah. So it looks like, you know, with this King of Pentacles here, this may be like an unstable relationship or partnership, or this could even be like with this Justice card and a mentality or an aspect of yourself that has kind of like run its course, that is no longer benefiting you. And I kind of, with this Tower here, it's like you realize it and you're kind of trying to move out of a space of like sadness, possibly even loneliness, with this Five of Cups. And with the Strength card here and the Magician, it's like you have all the tools, but I kind of feel like you may be so comfortable where you are that you're kind of afraid to move forward or to choose the alternative to where you are right now. Well, let's look at this Nine of Cups. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords in reverse and the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like you very much, yeah, and the Ten of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. It's like you really want something that is stable and that gives to you as much as you give to it. And it's like with this Three of Swords, right? I kind of feel like you've been working on your healing, but it's like, that this may be, you know, speaking of a relationship that you may like want to kind of work on, even though like I kind of feel like with the Justice card here, it's like, you know, your happiness or something more fulfilling is somewhere else. You may be kind of still holding on to this relationship, this partnership, because it's comfortable. And though it may not give to you everything that you want, you still don't want to lose it. Okay? But let's pull some dog wisdom for you. Let's see. Okay, so we have vulnerability. I'm going to read from the book for this. So let's see what it says. If you fetch this card, it means you're either already feeling vulnerable and licking your wounds, or needing to explore vulnerability, an asset for accessing more abundant energy and better relations. Though vulnerability has been thought to be the opposite of strength, vulnerability itself can be strength when you decide to make yourself more genuinely available to those in your pack who care about you and your well-being. Letting them know how you're feeling and what you might be needing empowers them to give what they can and want to give you. This allows them to fulfill their need to give and serve. Sometimes protection is necessary when one is being attacked or violently confronted in some way. Yet over self-protectiveness can make one lonely. And it can take a lot of energy to maintain bravado when you're not really confident or courageous, but feel the need to put on that mask. Bullies and bad dogs snap or strike out to hide their own vulnerability or fear of being attacked. For that reason, often their bark is worse than their bite. When you don't try to hide your emotions or what some might regard as your weaknesses, you let others know that they don't need to hide. They can be real, and that can generate less defensiveness in a conversation or interaction and more goodwill for all to lap up. If you're licking your wounds from a real or perceived affront to life, limb, or ego, you may want to take stock of what really happened. Did you attract an attacker by being vulnerable? Did you put your best paw forward, hoping for a different response than you received, and then felt vulnerable when the outcome was different than expected? What's important here is the learning about when, with whom, and how to show vulnerability in a way that it serves you and others. Being vulnerable is a part of being all of who you are, no matter whose fur is up or down. Identify where in your life more vulnerability might bring you closer to someone you've wanted a better connection with. Tell them some secrets about yourself and ask if they'd like to share any. With your loved ones and others, spend more time telling them what you appreciate and love about them rather than criticizing them. Criticism can be a defense against vulnerability and connection. Once you stop it, you allow more space to be filled with love. Okay? But that's all I have for you, Pile 1. I hope this reading helped you in some way. Be sure to let me know down in the comments how it resonated. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate you and hope to see you soon. I'm going to head on to Pile 2. So if you picked the second deck here, the Everyday Witch Tarot, this is a message for you. So let's see what Mercury Retrograde is trying to tell you when it comes to your love life. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. So we have the Hermit, Temperance. Alright, so the Emperor in reverse and the Ten of Swords. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords. Okay, so I kind of get the feeling here with this Emperor in reverse, you may have like a I guess what's coming to my mind is like a love-hate relationship with yourself. You may have like a negative idea of yourself that has kind of like persisted for too long, and it's like time for you to kind of join forces with yourself. It's kind of what I'm feeling. I hope that makes sense. It's almost like you may like spend a lot of time distancing yourself from other people, right? With this Ten of Swords, you may be in a space where like you're going through a lot of things that are kind of having a strong effect on you mentally, possibly even emotionally, right? And it's kind of affecting how you show up in the world. And with this Emperor in reverse, it gives me a feeling that it's affecting you negatively, right? And it may be affecting your relationships with other people, but with this Hermit here, I feel like it's having the greatest effect with your relationship with yourself. And I kind of feel like it's a need for you to kind of join forces with your inner self and like your outer self, right? And it could be that there's a need for you to kind of kill off I'm hoping this doesn't sound crazy, like kill off an aspect of yourself that you've kind of created in order to kind of maintain or like be perceived a certain way by the outside world, right? And I kind of feel like with this Ten of Swords here, there may be this kind of what's coming to my mind is trauma. So like trauma associated with this person that you were, and almost like it was kind of broken down by something, or at least like it was built up in order to protect you from something, and that something that that something it was meant to protect you from has ended, but you may be still holding on to it, even though it's no longer helping you. It may just be like hindering you now. And so it's like time for you to kind of heal that part of yourself and kind of incorporate it back into this person that you're kind of growing into, I feel, with this Hermit, right? I kind of feel like with this Hermit here, you may be like learning a lot about yourself, getting really connected with yourself. And it's time for you to kind of blend your inner self with this kind of outer self. Or just let the outer self kind of die. I hope that makes sense. Oh, I hope so. Because I kind of feel like this Emperor in reverse, right? Because this could be you, or this could be a person, right? But for some of you, I'm kind of feeling like this is an aspect of you. For others, it could be a person that you may still want to kind of come closer to or like connect with, kind of mend things with, even though with this Ten of Swords things didn't go too well. Because I kind of feel like this Hermit aspect of yourself is kind of, it's like you're getting this kind of deeper understanding of yourself, which is then enabling you to understand others better, right? And so you may be feeling a desire to kind of heal this with this person or with yourself. But with this Two of Swords, I kind of feel like there's a need for like space. And like, I feel like if this is you, like an aspect of yourself, it's like almost like needing to, you know, it's like incorporate or like kind of learn from this Emperor, but almost like you don't need them to move forward, if that makes sense, right? But let's see, let's clarify. I want to clarify the Hermit. It could also be like a need for you to kind of kind of like forgive and forget kind of thing. Let's see. Alright, so with the Hermit, we have the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands in reverse, and the Devil. And on the bottom of the deck, we have here the Hangman. Yeah, it's kind of like with this Queen of Wands in reverse. You may feel like you need this Emperor to kind of move forward in this new direction, right? I kind of feel like with this Page of Pentacles here, it's like you may be starting a new venture, or just a new cycle in your life, and you may be feeling like you may not be feeling very confident within yourself that you have what it takes to kind of move forward. And so you may be kind of wanting to reconnect with this Emperor in reverse, because you feel like you may need them to make this work, right? But let's look at Temperance. All right, yeah, Temperance, we have the Eight of Swords and the Five of Cups, and on the bottom of the deck we have the Two of Swords again. So it's, yeah, you may be stuck in your head, maybe really like still kind of reeling from some emotions, feeling of loss, right? You may be having a hard time kind of seeing it any other way with this Two of Swords, right? But with this Ten of Swords, you know, there's this light coming in here. And so I kind of feel like this Mercury in retrograde is kind of revealing to yourself your own kind of insecurities here with this Emperor in reverse. And kind of like your attachment to things that aren't good for you. But I feel like with this Hermit here, like and the Two of Swords, like your awareness is growing. Your awareness of self is growing. And with this Temperance here, it's like you're kind of healing through these things, right? So let's look at the Emperor in reverse. Okay, so we have the King of Wands, the Lovers, the Three of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords, with the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, if you know that if you want, right, if you want a relationship that is equal give and take, that gives to you, that is, you know, good for you, you're going to have to move away from one, you know, if this is this person. But I kind of feel like for a lot of people, this just may be a mindset that kind of keeps you feeling, you know, like less than, like that you need someone to kind of complete you, right? Let's look at the Ten of Swords. Yeah, because it's like you're going to have to move away from that. And so the Ten of Swords, we have here the Sun and the Nine of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. It's like you're totally moving into this new space where you're more confident in yourself, where you see yourself as more worthy, right? But it's just about like having patience with yourself and like understanding where this this mindset, these insecurities, like what they're rooted in, and kind of like cutting them off at the knees, you know what I'm saying? Okay, but let's pull a, what is this? Dog wisdom card. So let's see what wisdom the dogs have for you. Excuse me. Oh, wow. So we have here instinct, trust your intuition. So I'm going to read from the book for this. And it reads, if you fetch this card, it means that you may be living too much in your head, caught up in analysis paralysis and spinning around untethered and directionless. It's time to get in touch with your heart, gut, or higher self, whatever you call that still, small voice that can tell you which tree to avoid or which pile to keep your nose out of. And conversely, that murmur or shout can tell you where to find the real treasures, the bones worth digging up, or the treat worth performing for. Our own unique obedience school, parents, family, teachers, and friends may have taught us all kinds of useful tricks for fitting in and getting recognized and rewarded. Sometimes this learning gets us more of what we want. At other times, it takes us further away, especially in those instances in which we internalized any bad dog messages. Messages that leave us feeling immobilized by guilt or shame when we fall short of the mark. Trusting our instincts is about paying attention to our feelings more than we've been led to believe it was okay to do. After all, they are the real sixth sense of our own internal GPS navigation system. When we feel expansive, joyful, happy, or excited, you know it. You're able to jump through any number of hoops with greater ease than when you feel contracted, sad, angry, hurt, or scared. Learning to read your own signs gives you the ability to know when to act and when to hold back, when to take a break, and when to pounce on an opportunity in front of your nose. When you discover what whistles you've been unconsciously reacting to, you can pause a moment to reflect on what kind of response may best serve you and others, and avoid that slippery or thorny path leading nowhere. Have you been ignoring something that's been calling you? Something you've avoided because of fear, the fear that something bad will happen or nothing will happen at all? Write it down, name it. Ask it to identify itself and tell you why you need to listen to it and take action. Ask yourself, what would be the best action to take in my highest interest and for others as well? You may end up with the first step or a whole game plan if you keep inquiring. Listen to this whistle and move toward it. You'll soon discover the path. Okay. But that's all I have for you, pal 2. I hope this reading helped you in some way. Please let me know down in the comments how it resonated. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I truly appreciate you and hope to see you soon. I'm going to go ahead on to pal 3. So if you picked the third deck here, this is the message for you. So let's see what Mercury Retrograde is trying to reveal to you about love. Right. So we have the Four of Wands, Strength, the Tower, and the King of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, we have here the Five of Swords. Though it kind of looks like there's a move that you want to make, right? With this Four of Wands, this may be a relationship that you may be holding back from, or like you may have just been eyeing, right? This could very much just be that you, with this Tower here, you may have had a realization that you may be the person kind of holding yourself back from like a committed relationship. And so with the King of Wands here, it's like it's time for you to kind of move towards the things that you want, and to kind of, I feel, kind of stop holding yourself back with this Five of Swords, right? There may be some internal conflict about settling down or connecting with other people on a deeper level, in a deeper way. And so I kind of feel like with this Mercury retrograde, you're kind of realizing what you want and kind of getting prepared to move in that direction. But let's clarify. I want to clarify the Four of Wands. You could like have like some commitment issues. And I feel like with the Five of Swords, you may have been like writing it off. Like maybe other people were like, you know, you're the problem or something. I don't know if anybody said that, but hey. Like you may have just been thinking like it's other people, right? Maybe when it comes to like your relationships, you may have kind of closed yourself off, or maybe had a mindset that like, you know, I'm not the problem here. I'm not what's causing like the issues, right? It's kind of my partner. And you may be realizing that, hey, maybe it is me. Maybe I'm the person that's kind of holding up this thing from moving forward. With the Four of Wands here, you could even like want to get married or something. Let's see. Four of Wands. So we have the 5 of Wands, the Tower again, the 10 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords in reverse. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. I don't know why I'm hearing what Lay It Down by Lloyd. Lay your head on my pillow. Lay it down, lay it down, lay it down, oh, lay it down. Okay, let me stop. Yeah, with this 10 of Wands, I kind of, like I was saying, I kind of do kind of feel like you may be in Mercury in retrograde may be revealing to you your own kind of anxieties when it comes to, I feel, commitment. You could also like have one person in mind, like maybe there's like one particular person that you kind of want to get with, and like you're kind of you could be seeing like they have like people who are trying to get them as well, and it's kind of causing you a little bit of anxiety. Or you could just be very much like comparing yourself to other people, like in your age range, and being like, well, you know, because I kind of feel like with this 10 of Wands here, you may see like, you know, relationships or, you know, getting committed, getting settled as like very much a burden here with the 10 of Wands. And I kind of feel like with the Tower and the 9 of Swords in reverse, it may be kind of, it's like Mercury in retrograde is kind of revealing these anxieties to you. And it may be like you may have been like writing it off as something else, or like, you know, I'm not the marrying type, or I'm not really into relationships kind of thing. But I kind of feel like with this Tower here, you're like realizing that it's not really that you don't want this thing. It's that you're kind of afraid that one, you may like mess something up, or like it may be too much of a burden for you, or you may have like too many fears that kind of come along with it, if that makes sense. But let's look at strength here. Okay, so we have 7 of Cups in reverse, Queen of Swords, okay. Then we have the Ace of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, we have strength again. Yeah, it may be that like with this Queen of Swords, you may have your eye on one person in particular that you want. Did I say that before? I don't know. But like, or you may have like a standard. And if those people don't kind of fit that standard, you may feel like it's a waste of time or waste of energy. But I kind of feel like that's the mindset you have, which may, like with this Knight of Wands and this Page of Wands, which kind of keeps you kind of, I almost feel kind of avoiding love because you may just very well be afraid of settling down. But let's look at the Tower here. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles, the Hangman, okay, and the World and the Star with the Tower. And on the bottom of the deck we have Death. Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't want to be a player no more. So yeah, it kind of looks like you're in a space where you're like kind of coming out of one cycle, right? With the Hangman, I feel like you may have been kind of holding off from kind of giving yourself to anything stable, anything committed. And with the World here, it's like, with the World, I always kind of see it as like growing up, leveling up, moving to another level. But I kind of get that you, with the Hangman and the World here, you may be like at an in-between space where you're kind of waking up to the realization that, hey, maybe I do kind of want to give my energy, my love to one person, right? But it kind of seems like you may still be scared here. Scared of what kind of comes with it. But let's pull some dog wisdom for you. Let's see what wisdom the dogs have for you. Let's see. Oh, it's everywhere. Oh, well. Okay. So we have excellence. Do your best. So let's read from the book for this. This is bothering me, so I'm going to move it out of the way. All right. So let's see what it has to say for you. So excellence, it reads, if you fetch this card, it means you're being called to strive for your personal best in some endeavor you're passionate about or that's deeply important to you. Only you ultimately know the standard you must attain to know you've put your best paw forward, jumped your highest, and run your fastest. It's not about perfection or constantly proving to others that you're worthy. You're in competition with yourself in the sense that where you are is no longer satisfactory and you see something better to aspire to. Where are you now and where do you want to be? Get clear about that. Then close that gap step by step until you begin to see reliable results. Celebrate the small victories along the way. Keep going beyond what you've already done and you'll move ever closer to excellence. Staying true to who you uniquely are and what you love to do means you can arrive at excellence naturally as you move with head and heart aligned. And with deep respect for your contribution to yourself and others, you are being asked to sniff out one small step in the direction of your biggest dreams. Then point yourself in that direction and keep doing that. In going for your best, you may often find yourself in a lather and frustrated by seeming obstacles that just make you want to howl. But putting in your 10,000 hours to achieve mastery is what's required if you're ready to run that last lap of the track to bust through the ribbon and claim your prize. Remember that the darkest hour is just before the dawn. You may be much closer than you think. You achieve true excellence when you arrive at your sweet spot through commitment, effort, and persistence. And remember, it's rarely arrived at alone, so don't hesitate to hire a trainer to guide your training and maximize your efforts. Make sure that what you thought you wanted is still what you want. Discouragement will always have you questioning that, so sit and reflect on it a moment and feel deeply what still matters most. It's important to surround yourself with others seeking excellence. They can help give you more information, skills, and tools, nip at your heels when you're not moving, and inspire you with the progress you're making towards your own personal best in your project or endeavor. Find that pack and stay with it to gather more strength and momentum. Okay? But that's all I have for you, Pile 3. I hope this reading helped you in some way. Please let me know down in the comments how it resonated. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I truly appreciate you, and I hope to see you soon. Peace out.